Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 9, the Fantastic Five. We present about the business Sambal Minang Podeh. Our group consists of Hafiq, Nafar Izzati, me, Najmina, Alia, and Fitri. The name of the business is Sambal Minang Podeh. The business name is based on the products these business produce and sells, which are sambal products. The owner of the business is Roshidawati Roslan, who is one of the Sejahtera YSM entrepreneurs under Sejahtera YSM flagship. The owner started to get involved in YSM from the time she attended a YSM program on financial management. As she is the only one who owns the business, the type of the business is sole proprietorship, in which there is only one owner of the business. The owner is entitled to the earnings as well as the responsibility for the company's debts, losses, and obligations. The owner has retention of all profits and unlimited liability. Moreover, this company was established in March 2020, so therefore, the business has been operated for almost 2 years. It is located at Gombak since the owner was from Gombak. In view of the fact that this is a new business, the owner manufactured the product at her own place and its store is been working out. Sambal Minang Podeh is a manufacturing business that uses raw materials to produce its final goods, which are sambal products. In addition, the product will be sold directly to the customer, either by self-delivery that is applicable to the customer who live in Gombak area, or postage using third-party carrier. The delivery will be made on every weekend. And last but not least, the target customer of the business is the people who live nearby Gombak area. Sambal Minang Podeh manufactures and sells sambal products, which are sambal petai, sambal tokok berapi, and sambal jering. Among these 3 products, sambal petai is the most demanded product by the customers, and that makes it becomes the hot selling item. The price of the products is 18 ringgit each, and this indicates that these 3 kinds of products are sold at the same price. It can be said that the price is reasonable and affordable for everyone to purchase them compared to the similar products available in the market. Moreover, this business used sales promotion to emphasize the product differentiation and branding. The business offers a valuable price, which is 50 ringgit for 3 jars regardless of the product type. As long as the customer purchases 3 jars, then the price is 50 ringgit. Furthermore, the products are promoted through owner's personal social media such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, and through word of mouth promotion where her family and friends talk about the products to the others. The interesting point about the product is these products can be preserved for up to 6 months following the use of steam canning method in the production process. The processing is done for 30 to 40 minutes to retard the spoilage of the products, so the product can be kept safe for up to 6 months with the proper way of storing them.
Next is the source of data and data collection procedure. The source of data used in this project is primary data, where we collect all the data from the business owner itself, which is Puan Roshidawati Roslan. It is to make sure that all the data we have collected is relevant and up to date. Furthermore, the data collection procedure used in this project is qualitative approach, where we conducted an in-person interview with the business owner to gather the information needed. The interview took place in Surau Kampung Sungai Pusu on Monday, 15 November 2021. We chose in-person interview because we can ask questions without any disruptions compared to online interview. This is the evidence of our interview with Puan Roshidawati Roslan.
So moving on next is the analysis of this project paper. So the objective of this project paper is to examine if there's any suggestion needed for us to improve on the production process for the Sambal Minang Podeh. Meaning to say, we would like to further investigate in deeper if there's anything needed to improve, whether to added value more on the process of the production to help Sister Rose Herdawati to make further evaluation. What are the methods suitable for this analysis? we'll be using the process costing because it is suitable for food processing businesses. What is process costing? It is being used for mass production, highly similar or identical units of output, or production of homogeneous output. So it is suitable for us to use process costing. Having a firm grasp of manufacturing costs allows the businesses to establish appropriate price for their products and evaluate if expenses are in line with the prediction of the company. So this process costing will help benefits the Sisteros Herdawati to monitor its product profit margin because she has 3 different type of product: Sambal Minang products for jering, petai, and also ikan bilis and cows. So next, it will help her to control over the inventory and also for a better uniformity reporting system. Besides that, on our interview session, we had gathered around for few information for us to help to proceed with the production process or process costing. So among them are the direct materials, where we know the 3 main products, which is jering, petai, ikan bilis, and curries. Chilies, onion, and garlic, and also oil for them to classify under direct materials. Whereas for conversion costs, they have wages, where she appoint 2 of his children to work as labor for her company. Next is the utility bill that she paid, and the next one is the bottle she used to store the product, transportation fee, and other miscellaneous expenses as well. So let's have a look at the summary of our analysis. Moving on, next is the summary of the analysis that we gathered some information and data for us to proceed with the process costing from the interview session. From here, we can see and we can notice that the normal spoilage percentage is 100% out of the total spoilage, which means that there is no abnormal spoilage. The total spoilage are equivalent to normal spoilage. Why they say so? Because during our interview session, we did ask about spoilage matters regarding with her product. She said that the only possibility for her product to spoil is when there is overfilled, and also because of the storage problem. So where she can predict some of the products will be having spoilage about 20% or perhaps around there from what she have said. So therefore, we can conclude that her spoilage is not a normal spoilage and is 100% of the total spoilage.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Next, I will present to you on how we calculate the process costing of the Sambal Minang Podeh product. So, from the finding that Brother Hafiq had stated before, we managed to do the process costing of it by using the FIFO method. So, why we use the FIFO method in order to calculate their process costing? It is because FIFO method is more accurate and reliable in calculating the actual cost of the product compared to when we use the weighted average to calculate the process costing. Besides, when we use FIFO method, it is more reliable to calculate the product from the industry that have the urge to constantly update their inventory or have the item that easily gets spoiled. For example, like the product from Sister Roshadawati, which is Sambal Minang Podeh, which is from the food processing industry. So, in order to find the process costing of the Sambal Minang Podeh, there are 5 steps that we need to follow in order to calculate it. First, the first step is summarizing the flow of the physical unit of the output. As stated from the table beside me, we have list out the physical unit output that we have gathered from the information that Brother Hafiq has stated. And next, the second step is computing the equivalent unit. So, from the finding and information that I have stated, we can conclude that the equivalent unit for the Sambal Minang Podeh is for their direct materials, the equivalent units of the work done is 100 unit, and for the conversion cost, their equivalent unit of work done is 107 unit. Okay, next, after computing the equivalent units for the direct material and the conversion cost, we will move to the next step, is the third step, which is summarize the total cost to account for. So for the production of Sambal Minang Podeh, we can conclude that the total cost to account for is for the direct material is RM960 ringgit, and for the conversion cost is 510 ringgit. How do we manage to get this amount? Is by adding the work in process in the beginning plus the cost added in the current period. Okay, next, after we had calculated the total cost account for the Sambal Minang Podeh based on the direct material and the conversion cost, we will calculate the fourth step, which is computing the cost per equivalent unit. So, how do we calculate the cost per equivalent unit? Is by dividing the cost added in the current period with the equivalent unit, which is, I have stated before, the equivalent unit for the direct material is 100, and for the conversion costs is 107 ringgit. So from this amount, we have concluded that the cost per equivalent unit is for the direct material is 8 ringgit per unit, and for the conversion cost is 4 ringgit per unit. So, in calculating the fifth step, which is assign the cost to the unit completed and unit in the ending work in progress, basically dividing the cost per equivalent unit, which is 8 ringgit for the direct material and 4 ringgit for the conversion costs, to the cost added to the beginning work in progress, dividing it also to the amount from a cost started and completed before normal spoilage, then also amount of the work in progress ending. So from this amount, we will add it, sum it, and we will get the same amount of the total cost accounted for, which is the same amount from the step number 3. So we can see that the amount at the ending of assignment cost is the same as the amount for the total cost accounted for in the step 3, which is for the direct material is 960 ringgit, and for the conversion cost is 510 ringgit. Therefore, from this analysis, this finding, calculation of process costing and so on, we hope that Puan Rushdawati able to manage or able to utilize it in order to manage a proper stock management of Sambal Minang Podeh, and also we hope that by our process costing calculation in order to gain the equivalent unit and also the cost of equivalent unit for the Sambal Minang Podeh, Puan Rushdawati able to observe and arrange to have a better profit margin for her company. This is because process costing is actually, it helps you to track or manage the amount of stock for your product, and also able to manage and track your expenditure and also your profit margin.
Now, suggestion for changes and improvement I would suggest that Sambal Minang Podeh to improve their accounting for materials. With this method, they need to know how many to order per purchase order and when to order. With this method, I would suggest them to apply it on their 3 main raw materials, which are anchovies, petai, and now I will show you the accounting for 3 raw materials. First, the anchovies. The economic order quantity is 45 kg, and then it took place 6 order per year, and the reorder point when the quantity decreased to 6.85 kg. For the petai, the economic order quantity is 40 kg, and then it took place an 8 order, and the reorder point when the quantity decreased to 8.22 kg. For the jereng, the economic order quantity is 46 kg, and they need to place 9 order per year, and the reorder point when the quantity decreased to 10.96 kg. Benefits of this method are: it prevents from overstocking and understocking of raw materials. It can control the inventory level of raw materials to the optimal level. It minimizes the cost related to stock, and it also preserves the quality of the product. There are 2 challenges for Sambal Minang Podeh. First, currently the business is running at home, and there are several problems arise. First, the space. It might be difficult to separate the office space and the personal space, and also it might be difficult to identify the expenses of personal usage and the expenses of the business. And the last one is the management of business might be not in systematic way. The second one is the lack of worker. This is because Mrs. Roshadawati Roslan still seeking help from their children who is still studying. Now, suggestion for improvement for Sambal Minang Podeh. First, they need to buying or renting a building. This because now they can separate the office space as compared if they run the business at home. And second one, it can identify the expenses of the business, and the management of the business will run smoothly. The second one is they should hiring an outside worker. This because it can seeking help from the outside workers rather than seeking help from their children.
In conclusion, during this project, we get to know more about the company, which is Sambal Minang Podeh. For example, we get to identify the hot selling product of the company, which is Sambal Petai, and we also get to know the cost incurred in producing the products. Furthermore, we managed to apply the techniques and concepts that we have learned in class, which are process costing and accounting for materials. Lastly, we also get to provide suggestions for improvement that can be made by the company. That's all from our group. Thank you.